Greetings there, fellow buccaneers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of a new series playing X4 Foundations called Rogue Pirate. If you'd like to skip the game's overview or the details about this series, please use YouTube chapters. X4 Foundations is a space simulation game where players can explore a vast universe, trade goods, build and manage space stations, and engage in space combat. The game emphasizes freedom and player agency, offering an expansive sandbox where players can choose their path, whether as a trader, builder, explorer, combat pilot, or in my case, a pirate. I am going to be playing on the Envoy DLC only. No other DLCs will be enabled, and no mods. Starting with the accomplished scientist scenario so that I start with a player HQ. I've played previously where I built the player HQ from scratch, and I didn't feel like I needed to repeat those steps. The goal of the series is to explore the less than legal game mechanics of X4, destabilizing the balance of power throughout the galaxy, and often side with pirates and buccaneers rather than the other factions. So here we go. Play Open Universe, which is going to be sandbox mode, and the accomplished scientist.
Ah, yes. The Adventures of Celia Taryn. My most brilliant and distinguished assistant. From a young age, I dare presume, she yearned to explore the unknown and uncover the mysteries of our universe. Assistant, we have already accomplished much, but there remains a lot to be done before we can achieve our life's work. Fascinatingly obscure sectors require charting. Groundbreaking research needs to be groundbreakingly researched. And there appears to be a smudge on my habitation unit. I suggest you get to work immediately.
So, before I start, it's worth noting, or rather describing, some of the features that both Diplomacy and Envoy DLC add. Diplomacy adds a new room to your player HQ, which is the embassy room. It is unlockable through research. You can access a new UI tab. The diplomats then can be invited, when you have a good reputation with them, to sit in your embassy room, where you can get promotions and blueprints from them, which is a big change. Another feature of the Diplomacy update is specialists in diplomacy and espionage. So there are a new employee that you can have, which is a spy master. They can have missions like improving relationships, forging ceasefires, stealing blueprints, initiating diplomatic interference, and basically spying, interfering. As the player, you can influence events using an agent to steer the result in your favor. You can also sow chaos and trigger periodic interfactional events. And as the core of this series, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. You know, we're sort of an agent of chaos, a pirate, so to speak. The Envoy Pack DLC introduces two new ships, the Envoy, which is a stealth-ready frigate, and the Cypher, which is a unauthorized variant of the Envoy. There's also new sectors and the like, and I'll be going over that once we get there. With the accomplished scientist scenario start, we start with a player HQ, having already rescued Bozo Ta, so that we don't have to go through the 8 or 9 hours of doing that. So in terms of the player HQ, we have none of the research. And as far as holdings go, we have a Nodin Vanguard, which is like a pretty crummy fighter. And then we have some advanced satellites and some of the galaxy explored. Not all of it, of course, but some of it. Right at the start here, my plan for the next, I don't know how long it will take me, is to build up enough reputation for me to be able to buy a ship worth fighting in, because the Nodin sucks. It's basically just a hunk of junk. It's going to get me killed if I try to fight. That does mean ingratiating myself with likely the Paranids, because I really like Paranid ships. Meaning that I will be sucking up to them until I possibly inevitably betray them. We will see. And the intention of this is for me to then do the Envoy DLC questline to get myself an Envoy ship. The main advantages of the Envoy ship and the Cypher ship is they have a new ship mode called Cloak, where they can sort of mask their engine signature, and then they can also mimic other factions, which means that on an Envoy ship, you can enter Cloak mode, which does indeed disable your weapons and your boosting, but with Cloak mode enabled, you can pretend or broadcast as if you were a different faction. Therefore, you can spy and stay off the radar of hostiles and the like. And that's one of the reasons I want the Envoy. So the first goal right now is to earn money and ramp with Paranids. And then how I spend that money, I can largely leave it up to you once I get my ship. But that's sort of the goal. Let's go ahead and head out to our Nodin and get started. So if the player is hated by another faction, will they attack the player HQ? Possibly, yes. The player HQ is not easy to destroy, mind you. And then you can also relocate it given enough research. So if I want to ingratiate myself with the Paranids, I'm going to need to head to Paranid space.
Autopilot engaged.
The other thing is, like, my ship probably doesn't really have any good weapons. Let's take a look at it right now. Ship information. So it's a basic fighter produced by the Alliance of the Word. It's a Nodin Vanguard. And it has tiny shields, terrible weapons. It does travel fast, and that's pretty much the only advantage. Are Paranids pirates? No, they're not. So in terms of the factions, this is the new factions and relationships screen. It's kind of difficult how you determine what a pirate is. By some definitions, the Hatikva Free League are technically pirates. They are independent pirates trying to break free from the Aragon, or Argon rather. Definitely pirates would be Scaleplate Pact. They're smugglers and cutthroats and pirates. And then other factions I have not yet met would be Duke's Buccaneers, which are definitely pirates. And then one could make the argument that the Zyarth Patriarchy are kind of pirate as well. And there's some other factions as well that I haven't yet met that are like, they do a lot of piracy, although they're somewhat of a formal faction. So they're kind of in between of like, you're kind of a pirate, you're kind of not. It really depends on perspective. As far as the other factions, the Cock and the Xenon are just like full-on AI gone rogue trying to murder everyone. So they will kill everyone, but they're not pirates per se. Can you make your own faction? You are your own faction. Just at the very start, you have your own empire. So my name is going to be Rhadamant, and my organization is going to be Rod's Rosie Raiders. Whoop, that's not how to spell Raiders. Yep, we're Rosie Raiders right now. Because, you know, I am female. And let's give us, like, a nice little logo of, like, a happy little bear. Which I think will just be awesome irony when I go and murder people. I'm a murder cuddle bear. And you'll see those logos plastered all over the ship. So at the moment, we are just sailing, autopiloting through Talati space to get to Paranid space, because if we take a look at the Paranid Wharf, the ship that I'd like is the Nemesis Vanguard.
Entering system.
Or really any Nemesis, but the Vanguard's fine. And for that, we need a military ship license, meaning that we need to raise our reputation with the Paranids. And then also this thing costs just shy of $1 million. Outfitting it will be like $1.5 million. So we're going to need money and reputation. And I have $250,000 right now, but that's nowhere near what we need. Dave, Petrobol Kadath, and Pierogi, thank you for the resubs. Joint and Amarok too. Also, I think I missed a hydrate.
Entering system. Right promise.
Alright, we got a message. Did we really? Unique opportunity to help the Hatikva League. So, as I was mentioning before, you have been identified by the Hatikva Free League as being capable of aiding us in becoming a fully fledged independent nation, aiming to take its place alongside the established powers of the Jump Gate Network. Our ultimate goal is to establish a safe haven for people who are struggling, whether it be from long-lasting consequences of the Jump Gate shutdown, or because they intend to trade in wares that others might deem illegal. Hence why one could consider the Hatikva League pirates, because they are essentially smugglers. But, you know, they're like friendly smugglers.
Autopilot.
You know, they don't like shoot to kill, if you will. Alright, with that said, I believe we are in parented space now.
Greetings, my friend. Interstellar diplomacy is an alluring interdisciplinary pursuit. Part science, part etiquette, part curiosity. If you so wish, I will undertake this compelling research on your behalf. Consider it your first tentative step into a larger dialogue.
Once you have the player HQ, you will very quickly be contacted by Bozata, who is the researcher of your player headquarters. And okay, you can scan me. And what he just offered is
There are certain requirements for me to start that research.
the diplomacy network. Man, they keep interrupting me. So this adds the embassy that I was referring to, where you can invite ambassadors or diplomats to live on your player HQ so that you can... It's essentially a shortcut. Previously, when you ranked up or you wanted to buy like blueprints or licenses, you'd have to travel to a representative. And in this way, you can just invite all the representatives to live at your headquarters and to cut out the travel time. So you have to visit them once rather than keep revisiting them. And the diplomacy network is something that we could build. With that said, my player HQ doesn't even have a storage module. So if we wanted to do anything in the player HQ, it's going to need a storage module first and foremost. One of the things I might do with the player HQ before we even go any further, because it's worth noting that in this game, like X4, everything happens really, really slowly. It's a very slow burn game. I really like it, but it's extraordinarily slow. And as a result of it being slow, it'd be really helpful for me to start queuing up things we're going to need well in advance, because it's going to take a long time for it to get done. So one of the things I would like to do, and I forget exactly where it is to tell my player HQ to buy cargo drones. And I am just struggling to figure out where that is again. Because this game has menus within menus within menus. Oh yeah, here we are. Logical station overview. Alright, so let's go ahead and tell the station manager to buy 20 cargo drones? Let's do 10. And cargo drones allow you to transfer resources to and from your station. And then I'm allocating 26,000 credits to the station manager, so that essentially what he's saying is any trade ship can come to our player HQ and sell us cargo drones. Because that's, you know, it might take an hour for cargo drones to actually be delivered, because that's just the way it works. So here we are in parented space, and we're going to be picking up just random God Realm of the Parented quests, so that I can build up my rep and build up my money. So the first quest I just found is to scan this station to 26%, which is fine by me. My current rep with the God Realm is +5, and we only really need to get it to +10. Once I'm at +10, I'm going to start looking for less than legal missions. Smugglers and boarding missions and the like. Of course, this ship can't really do boarding, but I won't be staying on the straight and narrow for very long, in other words. Is this just like Star Sector? Sorta. But, it's a different type of 4X. Alright, so in order to scan the station, Oh, so this is
Mass
illegal traffic,
transporter, E.
and I can shoot these illegal traffic for rep with the God Realm.
Help!
And then also sometimes these little smuggler ships, because they're unarmed. Oh god, I hate the weapon I have. I really need to get rid of this weapon. The Muon weapon that this thing comes with is
No!
freaking horrible. It like charges up, but its missiles move so slowly that I can like not hit anything ever. All right, so let's do this scan mission, and for that we do shift 2 to enter scan mode. Ooh, I just found something illegal, a data leak. If I could pilot this horrible hunk of junk. Oh, it wasn't a mission. It was discounts for, like, buying gas. So in scanning mode, we need to scan this,
Graphene refinery.
this refinery here to... Oh, we're already done.
Thank you.
And our rep with the Paranids went from 5 to 6. Pretty quick. But in the scanning mode, you can also find data leaks. And data leaks initially can offer you, like, smuggling missions. Basically, it's like someone's encrypted channel that you're cracking into, and they're going to ask you to do something. Or you can find deals. Now, once you upgrade your Player HQ's research, you can also start to scan other things. Storage, module, dock, defense, and habitation hacks. But I don't have any of that done yet. And those kind of priorities can be voted on much later on. Once I have a ship that is capable of the kind of piracy that I'm looking for. So let's continue looking for some quests. And I'm going to be answering questions as they are relevant to what I'm working on. So if you have questions about, like, way far in the future tasks, it's going to have to wait. Let's get rid of the current weapons I have on this ship, because I'm, like, not able to use them. So the best thing we can go to do is head to the Paranid Wharf and sell these weapons, these muons that are attached to these things. The muons are like a weird laser that, like, charges up and it's really slow moving. So it's a projectile that's good against large targets that don't move very fast, but is absolutely heinous about shooting anything that is fighter sized or smaller. It's horrible. How difficult is it to get into this game? It's rather complicated, so I'm not gonna lie, it will make your head spin for hours and hours and hours until it starts to make sense to you. There is a lot of in-game tutorials, but they really only probably cover, like, the very basics about how to, like, fly and not crash into things. And then really the meat and potatoes of the game is super complex. There's so much that you can do in this game. You can have massive factory complexes. You can have war fleets. You can, you know, have a research division. You can wage massive scale wars on Xenon AI ships. I mean, the game is a massive sandbox, but because of that, there's not really a specific direction that you're required to take.
Docking granted.
And as a result, it can be quite complex and pretty confusing. So right now I'm docking at a ship wharf so that I can change out my weapons, because I really can't use these weapons. And this is a Paranid wharf. We're just lining up my docking. I don't think I have a good docking computer. Oh no, I do. Docking was pretty easy.
Successfully docked.
Alright. So I've got a travel drive Mark II. To buy a Mark III would cost me $400,000, so it's not like I can afford that. My thrusters are all-arounders at Mark II. My shields are Mark II, which are pretty weak. I'd like to upgrade my shields, but I'd rather save up for a bigger ship. And then my weapons, as I said, were muons, and I'm going to switch the muons out for pulse lasers, despite the cost. So it's going to cost me a bit. It's going to cost me, like, most of the money I have, but I'm simply not going to be able to fight with these muons. I'm going to buy a police scanner instead of a basic scanner. And I can sell my advanced satellites to cover some, and let's also sell some of the regular satellites. And these are deployables that I can deploy out I'm going to sell some of them to cover the cost of the bigger guns. So, as you can see, I'm, like, getting refunded a lot of money selling those advanced satellites. As far as crew goes, I don't really need Marines at the moment, because it's not like I can truly board anything. And there we go. I actually made money on this transaction because of the satellites I sold, and we just have to wait here for 30 seconds. Let's see if there's any crewmen around to be hired while I'm waiting. Of course, on a parented station, they'll all be parentids, but that's fine. What are the satellites for? Satelliting. So if you take a look at the map here, I, for instance, have satellites at this gate. So I have real information in real time transferred by this advanced satellite telling me what's happening here. So it gives you a glimpse into the map. And there's a bunch of different types of satellites. There's regular, there's advanced. Advanced are better than regulars. They're wider and provide more detail. And then there's resource probes, which will tell you the mining density of asteroids that you deploy it in. Alright, that's a mission I cannot live through, so I'm not even going to bother. Alright, so we are back out with these new pulse lasers. Pulse lasers are like your basic weapon. I mean, they don't do anything special at all. But they're a lot easier for me to use than the muons. I suck at muons. And I am looking for... Ooh, here's another data leak. That was easy. And let's see if it's like a smuggling mission. Nope. It was a power deficit information about this wharf. Basically, selling energy cells to this wharf would make extra money. Not super useful, but, you know, well, whatever. It's all that we could find. I'm gonna adjust the sound here. So the best way we can find missions is to pop around parented space, visiting various...
Autopilot engaged.
Maybe that's too loud. Visiting various stations to see what is offered, and just, like, take whatever's offered to build up a rep. And then once a rep is at 10, I will be permitted to buy the ship I'm aiming to buy, and then we can just... The world sort of opens up to us from there. Because, the ship I want to buy is maybe, like, 10 times better than my current one? 20 times better? 30 times? I don't even know. Like, this ship is so junk, that the upgrade will be massive. Scorpio, thank you for the gifted subs. I really appreciate it. So as we fly around, we just look at the mission offers. There will also be a little icon over the stations that offer missions. And I'm going to be flying around parented space, which means Trinity Sanctum, Unholy Retribution, Pious Mists. I probably won't go all the way down to Sacred Relic. The parentids, for those that don't know, are a split faction. There's like 2 of them. There is, you know, Queen Loyalists and those that are not Queen Loyalists, to say it very, very simply. And I am focused. I'm just picking one at random because it's closer to my player HQ. I'm not picking sides here. At the end of the day, I'm only on my side. If you have a satellite near a space station, will it give you missions as a possibility?
Mayday. Mayday. Mayday.
Yes.
This is Attaché Brent Sobert aboard the diplomatic vessel Berenice. I'm being attacked by unknown forces and require urgent assistance.
So, the quest I was just offered here is the Envoy quest. And this is the exact quest I'm trying to get a big ship for, like a more capable ship, because this current ship will not survive that quest. Not without, like, considerable luck and some saves coming.
System.
I missed my ride.
Autopilot. Disengaged.
Hello, I'm Dr. Daldrino, overseeing this mission. This is a legal operation under the Ectobarrel Code of Conduct. Do not interfere.
So this, I'm literally just hiring myself as a taxi. I'm going to land on the station, pick up a passenger, and then drive them to a ship because they missed their ride. Let's boost there rather than travel drive. So, travel drives are super, super high speed, but like no maneuverability just about, and weapons turn off and all of that. It's basically long distance travel.
Docking granted.
Whereas boosting, you can only boost so much, but if you're only going a short distance, it's quicker. So we're going to follow this yellow line, oh, that way, and go tell the passenger that we're here to pick him up. NPCs look AI generated? I don't think they are. Just all the NPCs look like that. You'll see. So we are picking up this guy.
Hello.
Let's get a move on. Board my Nodin. And here is a crafting bench, which allows you to make items from things you've picked up. So like I've picked up some capacitors, and as you can see, like crystal bits and capacitors make a harmonic resonator. They aren't physical items that do anything, but they're a trade good. You can think of it that way. And being able to put them together is great. There are some physical items here. The contraband items are physical items that allow you to hack. The hardware allows you to use spacesuit bombs and EMPs to be able to sabotage. So not everything in the crafting menu is just a trade good, but a lot of them are trade goods. And he should probably already be on the ship.
And ready to go.
Yep, he's already on the ship. Okay.
Note in Vanguard.
And we need to dock with the patrol destroyer Odysseus E to satisfy his taxi request. Which is where exactly? It's this way. Maybe that ship here? I'm not 100% sure. But probably using the superhighway is going to be faster, so I'm just going to autopilot.
Engaged.
Zoom! Moving at 18 kilometers a second is pretty quick. Our destroyer is the biggest class of ship in X4. So X4 has... the class of ships are just like XL, L, M, and S. So XL ships are the biggest ships. But not all XL ships are warships. A lot of XL ships are going to be construction ships. Ships that build stations. So like this thing here is a construction vessel. Right? Like my tiny ship could probably not win a fight against this thing, but these things are not well armored. They're just builders. As you can see, ship type builder, but they're technically XL. I mean, they're massive. If I flew up next to one, you'd see what I'm talking about.
Autopilot.
Speaking of which, the patrol ship I'm docking with, I think is an L, the Odysseus. Let me double check. Yeah, this is just a large ship. Oh, great, and there's a raiding party here as well. Are there non-combat ships that cannot be piloted but are way bigger? No, basically everything can be piloted for the most part, except for some of the AI ships. Because, you know, they're not meant for people to live on them.
E. Docking granted.
Here we go. Just parking with the, oh god, coming in hot. I hope they don't find me.
Successfully docked.
And that's done. And our rep is now up to 7. So yeah, I literally just docked my ship on another ship. In fact, you can even do ship, inception. This center dock here is a medium dock. So I could dock my ship on a medium ship and then the medium ship on the large ship. I don't believe large ships can dock on XL ships. But yeah, I mean, the ship scale is massive. If you take a look at, I am, maybe the size of this thing's engines. Because I'm an S, and it's a XL. Yeah, I'm the size of one of its engines. or less. It's that much bigger than me. And this is a patrol ship, so it's a warship. It would kill me in an instant. If it hit me once, I'd be dead, pretty much. Alright, Mission offers. Defensive maneuvers, I wouldn't survive that. So, let's keep flying around looking for work. I'm gonna fly up here.
Autopilot engaged.
And we're up to 300k, 330, and just trying to pick up easy missions that we can bang out real quick for the rep. And then eventually, once I get the rep, we can start looking at money. Taking missions for the money. What size is the ship I'm working towards? M. So, generally speaking, and this is a massive oversimplification, small ships are fast and maneuverable, and the larger the ship is, the slower and less maneuverable it is. So, if a XL ship wanted to kill me, oh my god, how is there so many construction ships here? Holy hell. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If an XL ship wanted to kill me, I could just run away and it's not going to catch me. Because I'm small and quick. It's not a perfect analogy, because there are exceptions to that rule. Some large ships are faster than some small ships, but generally speaking. And then also, it also heavily depends on the types of like thrusters and engines and how you outfit, and you can also super tune ships, so you can have like aftermarket boosters and upgrades. I mean, there's so many different things you can do to a ship to change its handling and weaponry and maneuverability and all that. And we'll get into all that eventually. Alright, so the reason I'm not taking these defensive maneuvers is this defensive maneuver wants me to, like, buy a land plot and build a defensive station. It's so beyond my capability, it's ridiculous. It'd be like going up to a homeless person going, hey, build an apartment complex, and the homeless person going, what? I can't even afford the land deeds. What do you mean you want me to build an apartment complex? So, with that in mind, it's important that you only take on missions that you're actually able to handle, because you're going to be offered a lot of missions that you're simply not able to handle. That happens on the regular. So I'm just going around on the highway here,
Unholy retribution.
looking for mission offers. And I could just keep autopiloting, because once we get within proximity, it will tell me if there's, Alright, the How Unfortunate. So the reason I didn't pick up How Unfortunate is it wants me to deploy 11 friend foe mines in a target area, but I'd have to buy 11 friend foe mines, and they're not cheap. They're like 25k a piece, so I'd be spending 225k to make 290k. Technically, it's a net benefit, but, I'm only going to take that if there's really nothing else. In need of supplies. I am not going to be able to acquire that kind of supplies. I don't have a cargo ship. It's not going to fit in... There is a raiding party going on here, but I don't really have a ship that's able to, like, fight much. So I don't really want to get involved in that either. In fact, speaking of which, I am going to quick save just in case, because it's really easy to just get blasted out of the sky out of nowhere.
Requesting immediate backup.
So if I don't find something else, I might take the deploying the friend foe mines mission, because I'm really just out of work. So let's travel back to where I think it was being offered, down here.
Jump gate, right promise.
In terms of the color coding, blue is like neutral, green would be allied or self-owned, and then red is hostile, and then orange or this like pink is like hostile but not like fire on your face hostile. They just don't like you. Alright, was the friend foe mines here? And if we take the friend foe mines quest, I'm gonna have to land at the Pyramid Wharf and buy friend foe mines because I actually don't have them.
Unholy retribution.
Which is totally fine. I don't even see it being offered anymore. Let's go back to where we were. I could also head down to Sacred Relic. And on top of that, I am also just looking for money so I can actually afford to buy a ship. So it doesn't even really need to be a Pyramid quest. The Pyramid quests would help me do like 2 birds, 1 stone because I want rep with them and I want the money. Oh, here we go. Deliver an unstable crystal. Unfortunately, I don't have any unstable crystals. Unstable crystals are a byproduct of mining. Every now and then you get you can find unstable crystals while you mine. I could hang out with mining ships, and like see if they mine up an unstable crystal, but like I can't, it's not actionable. I can't work towards it all that easily. Unstable crystals are definitely something you'll end up finding a lot of, especially if you are in war zones around asteroids and stuff like that. Alright, let's try to pop, let's go down here. Rather than pacing back and forth, we'll try a new zone. And I'm looking for quests that are PAR. Parented. Do you get rep and money participating in skirmishes? Totally depends. It depends on what zone you're in and who you're fighting. So, for instance, if I'm in a parented space, and within parented space, I am fighting an enemy of the parentids, which would be, you know, scale plate, xenon, yaki, etc., then yes. But if I'm in parented space and I'm fighting a neutral, no. If I'm in neutral space, no one cares. Basically, neutral space is like no man's land. So, the rep gain depends on where you are and who you're fighting.
Autopilot engaged.
Oh, here's a buccaneer. It's a pirate ship. So I also need to be careful when taking on these quests to make sure not to take quests that have me fight the buccaneers, because if I want to be on the good side of the buccaneers, murdering them is going to make it harder. So you can see my current relationship with these factions. Yaki, Buck, and Scaleplate are all pirates.
Entering system. Unholy retribution.
Come on now. Where are the quests? Worst case scenario, I can, I'll just pick up anything that pays money.
System. IS mists.
Now I regret not picking up the minefield mission. I can also scan for data leaks to see if there's smuggling missions for scale plate. But I'm probably not able to do a lot of those types of missions just because I'm early game, not very capable. But if we wanted to do that, it would be something like this, where we could drop into the station, enter scan mode, which is shift 2 from travel mode. Oh, and here's a data leak already. Yeah, it's another discount. Yo, can you data leak me a quest already? It's getting ridiculous. I don't see any other data leaks. I mean, it can sometimes... Oh, there's another one. Sometimes it takes a while to find them. But it looks like little sparklers. Bonk. Oh, yeah, this is a mission. I can hear him talking.
Are you interested in a job?
Alright, so... Mission given by a criminal, difficulty hard. You want me to board something? Good lord. I mean, the rewards are amazing, 1.8 mil, but that's because I can in no way accomplish that goal. I don't even have boarding Marines, so... That would be how to find criminal missions. Because that specific mission wasn't for a faction, it was just generally criminals. It wouldn't actually work towards boosting my rep with anyone. I'm mostly going to be looking for missions for Duke and Scale, and maybe Yaki if I can get them to like me. The Yaki are a little xenophobic initially. Scale Plate Pact are the... sort of the smugglers, and they are going to be hiring people a lot more than anyone else. They'll like actively reach out to you constantly for like smuggling jobs. How does boarding work? It's complicated to explain without showing you, but basically you have crew members, Marines, that you send over to a target, and they have to get through the hull, get through the inner of the ship, and then take over the captain or the rest of the ship, and it's like a multi-stage process, and it requires a lot of men, and it's basically defender's advantage, massive defender's advantage, so you need, either more experienced Marines or more Marines than your enemy has. It's a big deal. It's fun, but it's complicated. It's not a lot of RNG. No, it's mostly just like, if you think of it as like a standard strategy game, it's like your troops versus their troops facing off. All right, shakedown, I can do that.
Autopilot engaged.
So a shakedown is I just kill little shuttles that are smugglers, and that's an easy peasy one. Not a lot of money, but easy peasy. The other one is Marines needed. What is that? You need 2 Marines, but they need to be capable? I'm gonna have a really hard time trying to find capable Marines. A lot of the times the crew needed quests are like really hard to fulfill unless they're asking for like a 1-star. Because what ends up happening is you have to go hire the person, and that's pretty expensive. So this has a definite unknown cost. Plus it's not for the right faction. You could solo ships, but it's not your captain soloing it. So my ship, for instance, has space for 3 crewmen. They can either be servicemen, which help repair and maintain the ship, or they can be Marines. And if I found an enemy ship that had like... So there's 2 ways to take over a ship. Large ships need to be boarded. Small ships, you can force the enemy to bail. And you can force smaller ships to bail solo. That's no problem.
Short range transporter B.
So much easier compared to using the Muons. Now, keep in mind, I am holding O, which is like a magnetic scoop, and I might be picking up illegal goods doing this. So I have to be careful about being scanned by local police, because looting what these smugglers or criminals have may not be good for me, but I'm gonna take it anyway because I'm not afraid of smuggling. I'm picking up like herbicides, micro gimbals, so on and so forth. And this should be the last one I need to do. Done. My rep now is 8. 8 out of 10. Thank you for tuning in to X4 Foundation's Rogue Pirate, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow pirates.